What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to be reacting to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Stacy, I've already had you here, Stacy, but I will let you say your final piece. Let me get Stacy in here. Stacy, go ahead. 28, right? Birmingham. All right, sis. Here's the thing. You got. Let me make sure we're on the same page. I know a lot of this stuff is hard to hear because, unfortunately, we have far more men like Steve Harvey, uh, and a lot of guys like that who are calling you queens and telling you you're just fine the way you are. I listened to a white man on a platform with a black woman telling women who were size 14 that they were not obese. They just think they are. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I mean, I
And let me
don't
let me
I don't know
let
about
me
that.
let me fin- and
Okay.
the point is, when you are fed that ain't nothing wrong with you, it's always somebody else. It makes you comfortable. And the problem is, comfort kills. You knew if you wanted something in this world, you had to go to college and get a degree, right?
Right.
That was a sense of survival. I got to do this or I'm going to live life at a lower economic status.
Mhm.
And if that reality and you are willing to act upon that, do you act upon that same reality when it comes to a mate?
No, I agree with you though, but I think when you talk in terms of survival, we don't think of men as being that sole source for our survival as another person.
Right? Well, you know what's
So I
what's
think
changed
that's
a lot
kind of
of
why
that
it's
though,
a
Stacy?
second.
You know what's changed a lot of that?
What? Hmm.
Coronavirus.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
here's the
I work
thing,
from home,
but
but
but, but
I
here's the
agree.
thing, a lot of women here in Atlanta were on that same stuff too. But if you watch shows like The Walking Dead and these post-apocalyptic worlds where society falls apart, you're a smart woman. If society fell apart tomorrow, or tomorrow you woke up and there was a zombie apocalypse, can you really protect yourself if if civilization falls apart?
That's actually a very fair point. And just even going back just a little bit, I'm not sure when they had this conversation. I'm not sure if the prior conversation was on another show, but she seemed to have some type of disagreement, a disagreement with what he was saying last. But to this point right here, very true. And it was something that I even seen myself. The women that had men to take care of them were the ones going out there taking care of things and even communicating that. And the women that weren't were the ones that looked just a tad bit more miserable than others, stressed out, and didn't want to be in that position. Especially as people started to fight for things, women didn't want to be physical just to get a piece of toilet paper. So again, it's multiple layers as to why this is needed. And of course, it was shown a lot during that time.
There's no police, no fire. I mean, all the stuff you have, how you gonna keep how you gonna keep it?
So wait, you think a man can have any more strength and there's a zombie apocalypse?
Well, you're a STEM person, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's say you need to open a jar. Do women possess the typical hand strength to open jars? Or do they have to be specially
Right.
made? No, because how about this? Let's take it away from human beings.
Mhm.
Where do you see individual females surviving in the wild by themselves?
Polar bears?
Wait, I'm trying to see how that computed in her mind. You know what? Let me not even try to understand crazy. Let's just continue.
Go ahead. Even if I give you a polar bear, go ahead.
um, I mean, pretty much just kind of bears. But other than that, I mean, I see what you're saying. Like lionesses gather
They
in a
need,
group and they all take
because
care.
women need a group to survive. See,
Mm-hmm.
sadly, you sound like you're not even in touch with you, really what you are. You honestly sound like you think we're the same.
No, not at all. I don't think men really can clean as well as women. And, you know, there's just
But here, man, but honestly, that comes way down. See, we've taken away the survival needs. Food, water, shelter. You're talking
right.
about first world problems. And what it is right now, mankind has civilized the world so much to black women are leading the charge thinking you don't need your men. But guess what? Effectively, you've been separated from your leadership, your headship, and your mate to be out here by yourself. Well, guess what? Who makes better economic decisions overall, men or women?
I think men.
Right. But you guess what? If you want to take advantage of a $1.1 trillion spending power, the best way to get a black woman's money is separated from a black man. That's why you spend the most of anybody and have the most student loan debt and everything else. An uncovered woman is a boon to a society because you are tied there. You need everything. You need it all. And like I said, coronavirus showed that you single women one thing in particular. Uh, you had to go to the grocery store yourself. You didn't have nobody that could go do it for you and risk dying. You had to go out and you had to go while other women were at home with their husband, with their kids and in their shelter, who had men to go out. You had to go fend for yourself.
Right.
And that was
No,
in a decent time. What happens you go to the grocery store and there was nothing? You saw the fights that start breaking out. Do you realize that I don't think a lot of you women realize how fragile society is. And by yourself, you cannot survive. You need a man next to you. If nothing else, but we've taken away men's position to where a lot of women are honestly like, well, damn, if I can't have what I want, I'd rather have nothing. Okay. And that's what you'll get, nothing. And you'll die alone.
no, I do think that you're absolutely right when it comes to men and women needing each other. Like you said, in the business aspect, I think men make better decisions economically, and women have that kind of
I need to correct you on something. This is going to sting.
yes.
Men don't need you.
But earlier
Men
you
don't
said
need you.
that,
Men don't need women. Men want women. The only
well, how
thing,
are they going to have kids?
okay, that is the only need a man has for a woman. And I don't want to get that far down the path, but they are working on artificial womb right now. And that's sad. We have reduced women down to a womb. But why have we done it? Because here is the net of it. We have a 50+% divorce rate in this country, right?
Right.
8 out of 10 divorces in the black community are filed by who?
The woman?
Black women. 8 out of 10. So if 1 in 4 black women can ever expect to be married, but 8 out of 10 black women are walking away from their marriages. If you simply took away the ability to have file no fault divorce and just remove women's ability to walk in and out of marriages frivolously, you could increase the marital rate. Men want relationship. Men would prefer to be married. It's you guys who can't seem to figure it out. You're never happy. And I won't say you're never happy. You're never content. It's always something ain't right. Something ain't right. And I'm being facetious, but every other race of women in this Western country has never done this. They've never separated and say we don't need our man. That's why you're the most uncovered, the most unprotected, And then the very men you need, you don't know, you don't understand, and far too many look at black men, with a low level of contempt and disrespect, whether it's rightful or
And
not.
Kevin,
Go ahead.
I agree with you completely, but has any other race in this country really gone through? And I'm not going to make it we went through so much, because life throws things at people and you just have to move on from it. But at the same time, I think we just need to take into consideration the things that we have to overcome, whereas other people may not have to overcome.
Okay. All right, let's take it into consideration. All right, cool. Stop whining and complaining about it. Are you gonna sit in a victim mindset your whole life and then say the reason why I'm not where I'm at is because these people are holding me down? Didn't we grow out of that already? There are valid points. I'm not gonna lie. There are valid points out there that I will give, but it's not to say that you've went through anything traumatic. You weren't doing what your great great grandmother was doing. You're not doing that. That's not this time we live in anymore. And as far as I know, you are able to make yourself who you want to be in this world. And there's so many lanes and options. You will have so many opportunities, but this victim mindset will never get anywhere.
Such things.
Such as what?
And then we need
Such as
to
what?
Economic struggle.
Uh-huh.
Like you mentioned in another podcast, you said, we got through slavery, Jim Crow. I mean, just all these violent,
But what I need you to
things.
understand, is prior to 1965, black people were the most married in this country, 80%. So we came out of chattel slavery, black laws, Jim Crow, segregation, church bombings, Rosewood, the massacre up in Tulsa, all that. But after 1965, what happened? We were the most married of any group when we had all those horrible things. And this is what a lot of black women don't like to hear. The government can't. There were a lot of factors that happened. A lot of factors. Integration happened. The change. Hold on, but the change in the economy happened. But the biggest change was in the Great Society and offered a choice: government intervention or government assistance, or your man. And a lot of people say, well, if you're sitting there starving and the man ain't working, anybody would be foolish to turn down food. It was not that dire. I was alive when I saw this. I saw men having to sleep in their car when a lot of these government workers were coming by and they're doing the checks. There were men. There were men in those projects. But when like it or not, sis, black women, you threw away your men. You threw them away. And even now, with all the education and all the knowledge, you're the freest you've ever been, the most enlightened, most intelligent, and you still are not going back to get your men. You're expecting the men to come to you.
I do think we can be a lot more support to our men, and we can try to get them out of these negative.
We don't need you to see. Here's what we don't need. That's a global thing. Black men don't need Stacy to do that. You want to help black people, go become a good black wife and have a black family. So you can't do shit about anything if you don't have black family. So I hear what you're saying, but where's your husband?
Well, Kevin, I mean, that's, are you single?
I've been married twice. So there's the thing. You can't throw and see that. And this is what happens when black women start losing. It ain't about me, sis. You said it yourself. The reason you're single is because you want a man who's over a certain height, a certain income in Birmingham.
Kevin, I can drive to Atlanta.
But you can't. See, guys, this is what I mean. When it gets right down to it, when it starts to get too heavy, it starts being yeah, but you ain't had a man in 6 years. 6.
But now I'm doing all the work that it takes to get a man before 30. And I'm listening to your a guy I was dating actually pointed me to you because he was like, I think you have a lot of potential. Just kind of watch this guy. And I've been watching you for the last month and a half. And I completely agree. That's what led me to call in tonight. Because I just want you to give us something that we can do if we're 28 in the danger zone.
I've
Just
talked to you. First
what
off, ma'am, I
can
have
we
talked to you.
do?
I have talked to you for an hour, and it should have cost you $1,000. How about that? I've done it. I do it every night. But you got to do more.
Right.
You
Okay.
you have to want to have a black man like you want your next breath. Because you don't seem to realize you're the only group of women out here who are unprotected. That if not a black man, then who? Brad ain't rushing over here to
Yeah.
get you. Lee ain't trying to deal with you. Ahmed don't want to deal with you. Enrique ain't trying to deal with you. When I say get a black man or die alone, I am dead ass serious. And if a brother told you, listen to this guy because you have potential, I'm one man on a YouTube show. How many women are out there like you who are just clueless about any of this stuff? And they're going to look up and they're going to be 35, 40 years old trying to, I need a black man. And they're going to turn around and look at the black man tree and they're none. And then you hear them talk about, well, I couldn't find them or I can't find them on my level. That's why I made a broadcast the other day, 90% of you guys are going to have to work after marriage and children. Because only 10% of men in this country make 6 figures or more. Most men don't make that. And I'm
But
sorry.
just like there aren't women who have the high value husband, don't you think there are high value men who don't have wives as well? Like there's probably just as
What is
many of
okay?
them.
No, but what point does that prove?
That just proves that if there are women 27 or 26 to
High value
32
men don't have
out
husbands.
there,
What high value men don't have husbands? What point does that ultimately prove?
if they don't have wives, then that leaves more room for the women who are in the danger zone to be able to go out there, mix and
Absolutely
mingle, and
freaking
eventually.
wrong.
Look at Kevin's face like, no, we gonna stop this cap right here. But yeah, this woman is deluded. Just because they're available don't mean that they want you. And what's so beautiful and amazing about being in that position is, guess what? They have the choice. So they don't have to pick you. They don't have to. But she believes that because they're available. And another thing, stop looking at men being single as a bad thing. He's living his best life. Trust me. Being a high value man and being single, you're living your best life. He doesn't have to figure it out right now. He could just continue to stack his money, stack his investments, his business, make sure that he's together health wise, and then go look into the latter years of his life, and he'll be fine.
Absolutely 100% wrong. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. First off, most 83% of 83% of millionaires and 90% of billionaires are married. When you look at the companies you work for, are they run by high value men? How many CEOs do you think run this country in a Fortune 2000 companies are unmarried? Part of being high value is having a spouse. The divorce rate in the lower class is 70%. The divorce rate in the upper middle class is 20%. High value men aren't the problem. It's modern women who are the problem. You have unrealistic standards. You want everything, and you're nowhere close to bringing what you want to the table. And newsflash, a high value man can decide to be 50 years old and go get a 23-year-old wife. You cannot be 50 years old and go get a high value man. But again, more women
Yes,
try
I
to sit around
understand
and
that.
worry about all these other big issues when the best thing you can do is get yourself to the wife status you want to be. But I got news for you. You're going to be one of those 90% that's working. Because the only women who can demand what you're talking about, the women who can demand what you're talking about are 8s, 9s, and 10s. pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous globally, cross culturally, not cute girls. Pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous. Eights, starting around Beyonce. And this is what pisses a lot of women off because the reason you're asking for the kind of man you're asking for is because of your college degree and your job. If you worked at Quick Trip or Dollar General, you wouldn't be asking for a man as high as you are.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I'm okay with, just a guy who makes a decent living and we have good things, but I
You
just
said
want
you
to
wanted
say
to
I
make
agree with
you
you.
may want him to make $120,000 a year.
I do.
So don't lie to me. I have a good memory.
But you think high value is in the 300,000s, correct?
No, I did not say that. I'm talking about for the kind of that comes into consideration. No, high value men start at $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year is where it starts at as far as money. But high value men is just not about money. But when you're talking about what you want, you don't want to have to work. You wanted multiple children. And that's fine.
Yeah,
But you
that's
don't,
true.
but I know. And see, far too many of you ladies start saying what you think will make you look good. And the truth is, that's what you want. That's what's made this show popular. I talk about what women truly want. And it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter from women who are 5'4", 260 pounds, or from women who are LA nines. You still want the same thing. The difference is the LA 9 can get it. Most of you can't. And you just said it. You're a University of Alabama graduate, 28 years old, and you want a man making top 10% money. And you ain't, and here's the hardcore truth. I'm taking time because this is going to help somebody else. You haven't had a relationship in 6 years. You're not even suitable for it. Your relationship muscles have atrophied. You should be,
I mean, I've dated, but I hear what you're saying.
it's different. It'd be no different than saying, you know what? I've read books. You went to college and got a degree. I read all the books you read at the library. Is it the same?
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it's not. It's not the same because one went through a process and a structure. You have been unattached. You have not had to decide. The longest you've ever spent cooperating with a man has been a year. That does not prepare you to be a wife.
Right.
So sitting here telling me, you should do this and you should do that, and what so many women want is a quick fix, a magic pill. And I'm sorry, I don't have it. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of investment and a lot of time. Here's what I've said. You need to do these 5 things. Understand the kind of lifestyle you want. Be very clear about it. 2, get brutally honest about and seriously scrutinize yourself from head to toe, bucket naked, out of the shower, no makeup, no hair extensions. Scrutinize yourself from head to toe, inside and out. 3, get a second job and be prepared to pay the money it's going to cost to invest in yourself. Because you cannot watch YouTube videos of level up people and think you're going to get knowledge that you can really act on. 4, educate yourself about the men, the lifestyle, and everything else. And then 5, take action. But what'll ruin it for most women is they're not going to spend a goddamn dime. And sadly, far too many black women think I got the vajayjay. So that's all I should have to do. And I go back. And why is that important? Because I go back to what you asked me before the first time. Well, what are the Asian women and this woman? What are they willing to do to separate themselves? A whole hell of a lot.
In defense of African American women, we actually try to do it ourselves. We go get our hair done, we get our nails done, we do all these things that we really can't sometimes afford given the long, extensive economic history that we have. And so we still actually invest in those things.
Okay. And is what you're doing what men want?
It might not be, but I do
Well,
give it
then,
to my
no,
community
no,
that we do try.
hold on. Say that again.
I think that as African
No, no,
American
no, no. I
women,
asked you a direct question. Is what you're doing what men want? Yes? No.
yes, and let me explain.
No, there is no explanation. I'm going to tell you no, you're wrong. See, you don't again. This is where you're at, sis. You want black men to accept what you want to do. Black men have been saying for decades what they want, but women like yourself fucking refuse to give men what they want. You want to give them what you think they should accept and then get upset when they don't accept it. Well, let me ask you, when you go to your favorite restaurant and they just sit a plate of food in front of you and you say, well, no, I was going to get something different. This is what we have. Eat it. And I need a good tip. Would you leave that restaurant or would you eat up and say, I got to come back?
I would leave.
Well, then the question is, if all the stuff you're doing is not yielding the result, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, right?
Right.
Then why don't you start asking the black men that you want what they want and then do that?
The wizardry. The wizardry. A wizard with this. The epiphany master. The one that's going to bring clarity and logic into the conversation. This is nuts. But here's the craziest part about everything. Everything he's saying, I can guarantee you that a man has told this woman exactly what they want and the things that they don't like about women like that being disrespectful, talking out of bounds. They know all of this. They just don't care to just to apply it because they believe you should accept them for however they turn up and come.
I will do that. I don't know how to go. I guess I could just ask my African American male friends.
Well, that would be a good place to start. But you could also ask the guy who broke up with you why he left. Is he unmarried? The guy you were with in college?
No, he's not married either.
Then you
So
could ask him, hey,
I
why
don't
do
think
we?
he's that great of a catch.
Well, that doesn't sound too
Sorry.
smart for you.
Well, I was younger then.
Yeah.
But
Again,
yeah.
all right. So again, this has been a good case study in exactly why so many sisters are by themselves. Because there's this point in you that you just, at the end of the day, it's like, I know what the right answers are, but I'm not going to do it. What it really shows me is how little, especially college educated women, how little you actually value the image of most black men. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Listen, I said it before and I'll say it again. Women tell men what they think they deserve by their attitude and their looks.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, before listening to you, I never thought of like going to an image consultant. So I did pick up some really good tidbits from you. So I will actually implement that into my system of finding a man and I will see how that works.
Well, I've said
So
there's four things. Four things. See, when you want a top 10% man, it's like wanting to get into an Ivy League school. You either do what you have to do or you won't get in. You need therapy, personal trainer, image consultant, and matchmaker. Since I got to let it go after this, but you don't have time to do this on your own. The worst thing you can do is try to fly this plane yourself. You're not qualified. But see, I just talked about turning over control to somebody else. And a lot of sisters, especially our educated sisters, have a big problem with control. You don't want to, it's like, but when you ask, this is what your competition is doing. You know, your competition, they want an elite man. This is what Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians, you can like what they mama and them, but her mama said, go get that money from them black dudes. Up, you too fat. You costing the brand money. Yeah, the beauty pageants and all this other kind of yeah. There's a lot to be learned. If you want an elite level man, you better be an elite level catch. Thanks for calling in. Though I got it. Oh Jesus, more people called in here. All right, thank you.
Man, Kevin was the GOAT, man. One of the best. I want everyone to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about this conversation. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. If you enjoyed this video, chances are there's another video on the channel you will enjoy. Take a look around. We upload every morning, so come back here tomorrow and there will be another upload. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.